a few years ago, I had my son genetically tested,
Uh-huh.
my infant. I took the cheek swab to Australia and asked him to tell me which sport he was going to play.
Yeah.
Right, and he turned out that he was in that 18% of the population that had a certain form of the ACTN3 gene that, in theory, predisposed him not to fast twitch explosion sports, but endurance, slow twitch. And I was like, this is kind of interesting. Maybe I should keep him away from sports like basketball and football and basically every American sport that there is out there, and send him into distance swimming or biathlon or otherwise. And I didn't do that because, as David very well points out, it's just one piece in the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
But what I didn't, as much research as I did on ACTN3, you went a lot deeper on this. And I learned that the enzyme that my son has is, or does not have, or a form of it that he has, maybe you can science it, he's more of a science guy than I am, does not metabolize sugar very well. So therefore, the way I'm looking at this is my son, now I know why he's constantly craving candy bars. It's because he needs the sugar to be the explosive athlete he should be, right? So thank you for explaining why we can't keep candy bars out of his hands.
Since we're talking about not exploiting children, didn't you put him in diapers like on the cover of your book?
I did, but I didn't. I did. Yep.
Just remember
but
that.
But he was too young to know he was being exploited.
Okay.
So anyway, David, generally speaking, what is the takeaway from the sports gene?
That's a good question. And I want to respond to a couple other things you said after that. But so I think for me it was that some of the things that I thought were completely genetic gifts, like the ability of a Major League Baseball hitter to react to a 100-mile-per-hour fastball that I thought was grounded in reflexes, turn out to be very much grounded in learned perceptual expertise. And other traits that I thought were very much acts of will, like the compulsive drive to be physically active, have really important genetic components. And so there were all these sort of things that I thought that were counterintuitive to me. But with respect to youth sports, too, and I just want to make this point quickly, one thing that I took away from the book is, so in medical genetics taught us that, because of differences in my gene that is involved in acetaminophen metabolism, it's different from yours and different from Dara's, that one Tylenol for me will have a different effect than it will for you or for Dara. The same thing is being proven true now in exercise genetics, in that in old papers in sports psychology, you would see talent defined as prowess that precedes the opportunity to train, but that's being blown up by exercise genetics that are redefining it, a type of talent as your genetic setup that allows you to profit from training in a certain way, and a specific type of training. So just as medical genetics is now leading to sort of tailored medicine, I think that's what we're going to see in training as well. And one of the reasons I think that despite decades of study on specialization versus diversification in youth sports, that it's difficult to come to a consensus is not only because it's sport dependent, which it now clearly is, but it's also athlete dependent. And when you have a group of subjects that you're trying to draw averages from, athlete dependent variables tend to get lost. And I think as good coaches probably know that intuitively, that you can't deal with every athlete the same way, that every athlete doesn't respond to the same kind of training. But now we're putting some genetic science behind that.